Brose here with just another little tip. You know, I always use rope holders when I train, and I see a lot more people buying them and using them. So I thought I'd offer just a few thoughts on them, do's and don'ts. Number one, when I train and teach groundwork, especially early on, I will use one that is a little more bony and more wire-based. These can be a little bit severe, so you do use them gently, but they're a great tool. The knots create some pressure points, and with a modest amount of work on a 22-foot lunge line or a smaller lead, you can get a pretty good little effect. I then moved to this particular version, which is made by a good cowboy out in the Kansas area named Coons, which has side connections for using as sort of a side pole, or I can cross tie in them as I have here today with Little Red. One of the things though that most of my clients I see, even folks that are pretty experienced, do is knot them wrong, and just want to make clear for both safety and convenience that we want to come down through directly, hey Red, and come around back and cross over. That creates a knot that's not only quickly and conveniently tightened by just lifting that noseband up and then pulling down and continuing to take out slack till we get a nice fit. Number two, when that horse gets in a situation where you've got some urgent situation, he's pulling away from a tie, or there's some other reason you've got to get that off, that's a pretty quick, intuitive knot to release and loosen or pull away. If it's tied otherwise, it can become really fused and knotted in a way that is potentially dangerous, because these things can be very sharp. And I know at one point in Wyoming, when I was doing some work out there, we had a horse pull away from one, and we ended up having to cut it loose because you couldn't get to the knot, you couldn't loosen it under pressure. So keep that in mind. Number two, I never use them on the trailer, or if I do, I use a breakaway type tie, a snap that will release under intense pressure. If you ever have especially a stock trailer, you've got horses moving around in there, or you have a little bit of a quick stop or turn in the truck and trailer, these things, again, you don't want them cutting, especially in this sensitive spot on the pole, which can really be dangerous territory up here. If you hit a horse or he flips over and hits this area, certainly can cause instant death or serious injury. So just a few little tips, and then I will use these as a side pole, as I said, hook a kind of a roping single rein to these, and they make a nice transition to those early rides before we go to more of a traditional side pole, and then eventually a snaffle bit if we want to. But anyway, keep an eye on your knot, and you know, the classic safe good one is straight down, around behind, and across so that your knot is facing towards the tail, and you've got a nice adjustable knot and a safe one to release when it's time to get it off. Hope that helps, and look for our next clinic coming up here real soon on our events tab on Facebook page and on the website, rosemcveighhorsemanship.com.